All right, I wanted to show real quick in this video an alternative processing method. So one of the downsides to doing 3D printed dentures is that sometimes you, if you're going to do a multicolored denture, you're going to have to do a separate printing run with your pink, and that's going to form the gingival base, and then you're going to have to turn around and wait and do another round of printing with your white, and then you've got to go to the bonding process of getting it together. Now, on occasion, you might be really in a pinch for time. You need to, do this a little bit faster. And so one alternative that you can do that allows you to just do one round of printing is that you can print in the same run both the base with the teeth integrated into it, as well as the base with the sockets. Print these simultaneously, and then once you've done that, you can invest this full contour printed denture. And in my case, I'm using the Annex Dent large flask, and it's essentially a really fancy clamshell impression, but I really love the precision of this one. But as you can see right here, when this is all clamped down, it just forms a clamshell impression. When that putty has set up, you can now take out the full contour denture, and you can put in the denture, which is out so I can access it a little bit easier. There we go. All right, so you want to make sure this is really in all the way, that it's really good and seated. And then once we do that, we can now create some injection holes. You can see those are right here on the second molar region. And now the idea is that once you seal all this together, you can inject whatever white material of your choice into it, and the void which is left where the teeth go is going to be filled up now with that tooth colored material. Now, as far as what you could use white PMMA acrylic of whatever shade you choose. You could use, like in my case, I'm going to use the Annex Dent Visco 3. This is a bisacryl material. And actually the reason I'm doing this in this case is that I have this in bleach shade, but right now I've not got any bleach 3D printing resin. And this patient really needs a bleach shade on their denture. And so this is going to give me an alternative way of processing that enables me to get there. So you've kind of got to visualize in your mind how this acrylic is going to flow through and fill this. And so remember, it's got to go through this horseshoe shape. And so what I'm going to do is try to use gravity in my favor. And I'm going to hold it like this to start. Begin injecting. So the bisacryl is going to fill up. And as it does, I'm going to begin rotating it and kind of laying it down slightly, and eventually material is going to extrude out of this other side, and then I can just inject a little bit more to make sure that it's fully formed, and then we just let that set up. Okay, so let's begin the injection process. And you want to make sure that you do this in a nice, smooth, continuous motion. You also want to make sure that your injection hole is not so big that material extrudes out around it. And there you see we are full. And you can go just a little bit extra and then be injecting as you pull out so that you don't introduce any air bubbles. And now I just let this set. So the benefit to this technique is that it's going to be one round of printing time, no significant bonding process of like bonding multiple materials together, and you can use the materials of your choice. If you did this putty investment out of like a clear PVS, you could even do this with light cured composite, which has really good physical properties. So I'll show you this once this hardens up and we open it up. Okay, so that material has now reached its full hardness. We can open up the flask. And again, I love the precision of this Annex Dent flask, but if you're in a pinch and you don't have this, you can just as easily use an appliance box, like a clamshell appliance box that you get night guards back in, and you can do the same type of process with that. Okay, we can peel out now the investment. And the nice thing with this is it is reusable. So if you ever need to retread the teeth, just hang on to this and you'll be able to do that. And there you see the internal of the denture. And here you see the full contour denture. So a little bit of cleanup here with our sprues to do. Just got a tiny fold right there where I didn't do the best job with my putty. But you see the big picture of this, of how to do it, is that you can start with a monolithic color in pink, invest that, but also print the sockets and then just inject that void, again, with the material of your choice. And this can also be a good way to do this where if you wanted to really make a reinforced denture, before you inject that white, lay down some of that, like the Preet fiberglass, lay that down in the socket form right here and then inject into it, and that's going to add a lot of reinforcement to your denture.